Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about something really important. It is the 5 health cheat codes that I've learned at 44 that I wish I knew at 24. And these tips have been game changers for me. They have led me to feeling and even looking better in my 40s than I ever did in my 20s. So if you're down for that, let's get into it. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Dan Go. I help entrepreneurs and busy professionals get lean, boost energy, and live longer without spending hours in the gym or doing any fad diets. And about 84% of you who watch these videos are not even subscribed. So it would actually mean a lot to me if you would press the subscribe button, support the channel, and also help me find my way in the algorithm. All right, cheat code number 1 is going to be drinking at least 500 milliliters to a liter of water before coffee even hits your system in the morning. Now, when you wake up, your body has gone 7 to 10 hours without any liquids going into it. Also, upon waking, what happens is that your body starts to elevate its cortisol levels. And when you drink coffee on top of that, it may actually reduce the stimulating effects that you would get from coffee. So by drinking water and also delaying coffee 1.5 to 2 hours upon waking, you could potentially extend the caffeine energy benefits that you would get from drinking coffee. Now, something that I've realized when doing this is when I extend the period of the time that I wake to the time that I have my first coffee, I can actually extend the energetic period afterwards. So if I take my coffee first thing in the morning at like 7 a.m., I would pretty much only feel that, or maybe even not even feel that until about 9 a.m. But if I actually extend it, if I drink it at 9 a.m. or even 10 a.m., what happens as a result is when it comes to 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., I find that I don't have that afternoon lull and I'm able to just power through the rest of the day because the caffeine is still somewhat in my system. The energizing benefit that you get from drinking water first thing in the morning and the energizing benefit that you get from delaying the caffeine, it just has this sustained energy that would actually give you more productivity and more focus for the rest of the day. Cheat code number 2 is to follow your circadian rhythm. Something that I've posted on Twitter, which actually got a greatest response, was the fact that I'm eating my last meal by 5 p.m., I'm going to sleep by 10 p.m., I'm waking up at 6 a.m., and I'm realizing that old people had it right the entire time. Now, when I talk about following your circadian rhythms, what I mean is that you are just aligning yourself with your body's natural way of doing things. And the ways I do this and the ways that I entrain my circadian rhythm, the very first one is to go outside first thing in the morning and to get morning sun in your eyes first thing in the morning, because that actually turns on your circadian rhythms. It sets forth a number of hormones inside your body that start to wake you up, and that is the start of your natural cycle. Another way I do this is by aligning my meal schedules with my sleep and wake times. I said I go to sleep by 10 and I wake up by 6. I make sure that I have my final meal around 3 to 5 hours before I go to sleep. So it's usually around 5 p.m. And then from there, I have my second meal around 3 to 5 hours before that, and then I have my first meal around 3 to 5 hours before that. So what I found by doing that is it helps me regulate my hunger signals. And also I just feel more sustained energy, again, when doing this, because it allows me to space out my meals according to the way in which I like to live life. And the final way I do this is to maximize my performance by following the circadian rhythms of when I am having the most energy. Usually when I have the circadian rhythm that I just gave you, which is I go to sleep by 10 p.m., I wake up by 6. My sweet spot for physical activity is around 2 p.m. Thankfully, I have a business that allows me to do that, but that's the point where I find that I have the most energy and the most juice to go along and do a great workout. One thing I have to say is that it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfectly aligned with your circadian rhythms, but I just find that the more aligned I am with my circadian rhythms, the better I feel on an overall basis. Cheat code number 3 is what I call the 10-3-2-1 protocol for better sleep. The 10 relates to when you should stop drinking caffeine. So if you are caffeine sensitive like me, you're not one of those superhumans that can drink an espresso and then go right to bed. What's going to happen is that you're going to make sure that your final coffee is going to be at least 10 hours before you intend to go to bed. Now, the 3 pertains to your meal timing. I mentioned this earlier under circadian rhythms, but you want to have your final meal at least 3 hours before you go to sleep, because this enhances the quality of your sleep. And the 2 refers to liquids. You want to stop drinking liquids at least 2 hours before you go to bed. For about 40% of people out there, to deal with a thing called nocturia, which is waking up and having to go pee. So when you cut out liquids before you actually go to sleep, what happens as a result is you negate a lot of the periods of when you have to wake up and go pee. And the final one is to stop all screen time at least an hour before bed. So something myself and my wife do is around 9 p.m. p.m., we just put away our phones. We don't even watch Netflix. We literally just like sit and just like talk to each other. And I know how hokey that may sound, but it's a great way for us to reconnect with each other, but also it's a great way for us to get away from screens and also entrain ourselves to have a better sleep at night. Cheat code number 4 is to get a standing desk and a treadmill desk, especially if you are one of those people that sit at a desk for long periods of time. So the average desk worker, they sit for 6 hours a day and they get less than 4,000 steps a day. And one of the best ways that I've found to get around this is to invest in an adjustable standing desk that allows you to sit and stand, and also to get a little mini treadmill to go under that desk. So anytime that I'm doing meetings, anytime that I'm going on videos or watching videos, anytime that I'm doing something that doesn't require my hands like typing, I am usually putting myself on a treadmill, and this alone allows me to get up to 10K steps a day. And I know we should just push ourselves to go outside and to walk and do all this kind of stuff. I get it. But at the same time, if you are relegated to a desk like I am when I'm just creating, I'm in the flow of doing everything, and you're not necessarily able to get out there, especially when it's wintertime, this is one of the best things to invest, especially if you sit at a desk. And I'll leave recommendations to the desk and also the treadmill that I recommend. They'll be in the description below. Now, cheat code number 5 is going to be a replacement. So you want to avoid using food or alcohol to deal with stress or emotions, and you want to replace it with exercise and movement. One of the things I realized, especially like the context is that I used to be a very out of shape person. I used to be what we would call fat. And one of the things I did was I was using food, especially as a way to numb the way that I was feeling, a way to numb my boredom, a way to numb my sadness. And one of the replacements that I found, and one of the best ways I found to get around this, is to actually use exercise as a way to numb those things. And I don't want to say that you're numbing it, but what you're doing is you're actually making yourself more able to deal with those emotions on a regular basis. And something that I just have to get out there is that learning how to deal with your emotions is a massive part to this health journey, because a lot of times when it comes to our emotions, we react to them in different ways. And most of the times when people react to emotions, they do things like go on their phones, they try to numb themselves, again with food or alcohol. You want to be able to replace this, because whenever you try to get rid of a habit, it's not going to happen. Habits don't really work in vacuums like that. You actually need to replace the actual habit. I've set up systems where I go out and I walk on my treadmill desk, and I go out and I make sure that I get at least like 3 to 4 weighted workouts, and I do things to mitigate the actual stress and also use it as a way to deal with a strong emotion when it actually comes. Now, when it comes to like exercise, it's not going to get rid of these emotions. I'm going to tell you this right now, but they will turn on parts of your brain that's going to specialize in emotional control, which is going to allow you more power to be able to deal with it. When in doubt, work out. So this is a bonus cheat code, and I think you're going to like this one, which is you need to stop being so anal about your health in the first place. Stop being so obsessive about it. If you go on the internet, you're going to find so many people that are going to create fear around certain foods, saying that veggies have oxalates, therefore they're toxic, or they're going to say that don't wear polyester because it has microplastics. Sure, those things might help. They probably do more harm than good. I'm going to put it out there right now. And the fact is that you don't want to have every part of your life obsessing about health and what you put into your body and what you do with it. And while I do believe that you should steer towards like some food options than others, you should find out what you're sensitive to and what you're not sensitive to. But again, we should stop being so damn anal about it. You have to realize, especially, you know, it's ironic as I'm saying this on YouTube, but we live in this world of extremes where the most extreme advice is going to get the most attention. And you have to understand that the game that everyone's playing is like, let me find this extreme opinion so I can get as much attention as possible. But the honest truth is that you don't have to be perfect to be healthy. You can get 80% of the stuff right and still be the healthiest version of yourself. One of the keys to a great life is where your health actually is a vehicle for living a great life. It's not meant to be over quantified or obsessed over. So my recommendation to you is just to relax. If you're working out, if you're eating a nutrient dense diet, if you have your sleep dialed in and you have great relationships, then congratulations, you're already part of the 1%. And if any of those things are not in line, then work to fix them. And that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to hear in the comments below which one of these health cheat codes actually resonated the best with you. I would love to hear that. I reply back. A big part of this health journey is really just being at a healthy body composition. I just did a video for people who want to lose, or if they have about 20 pounds of fat to lose or more, and I created the entire guide on how to get rid of those once and for all. So if you want to go to that video, go to that one, and I'll talk to you soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.